You wish you were a robot? I mean, I don't know. I don't. Sometimes when you get like real heady and stuff, I just think of that as like being like a virus in your head, you know? You just gotta get rid of it. It's gotta like run its course through your veins and it'll go away, you know? Or you gotta take medication to make yourself more chemically balanced, you know? Or you gotta have to like figure out a way to chemically balance it without it, you know? I don't know. I like emotions. Emotions are what make us, they're what make us human, you know? They're what make our experience the way it is. And be it good or bad, you know, a life without pain is not a good thing. I know that sounds weird, but like pain is a reaction to something that is very much needed. So whether physical, emotional, like you learn something from pain, always. You should learn something from pain. Sometimes you have to get hurt multiple times to figure out what the fuck's going on, but you should learn something every time. You might not learn enough, but you learn something, right? Painful things can teach us lessons we didn't think we know. Yep. Needed it? Well, I'm just saying, it's from personal experience, bro logs. Yeah. Like, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I like spent most of like my life in like jumping from like relationship to relationship and getting totally like, it's not a good thing, right? Got married, got divorced, didn't date anyone for like 3 years. Thought I knew what I was doing and jumped into something that I shouldn't have been into in the first place. Then I got hurt again. Shouldn't have done that, but I learned, right? And now I know exactly. I have never known exactly what I want from every facet of my life more than I do right now in this very moment. Period. Because of all that pain and all that suffering. It brings us to today. We are human because of it. The Dalai Lama has a lot of books on that. And if you're interested, I have a couple of like really, really good recommendations of books, not just by him, but they kind of can help you live more in the moment. And, oh my God, Shadow. Oh my Jesus Christ. Speaking of living in the moment, fuck, what happened? Why are you freaking out? Oh my God. There's more work to do, but it's still a victory. It is. I'm not just saying, you gotta celebrate the victories, chat. You really do. You really, really do. And I'm not saying the fucking world is perfect. I mean, look at all the people that are get fired on the basis of like age, race. Like, I mean, it happens all the time, chat. What matters is that for my entire life, I have not been in a protected class. Like we were not a protected class. Now we are. Just saying. You just gotta celebrate the small victories. You really do. And this is in no way small, but you have to. Otherwise, I mean, progress is progress. Even though there's more work to be done, there's always work to be done. Always. Tomorrow, we're continuing the work, you know? That's what happens. Wow, Zipper. Happy for every victory. Good, Skywise. Still bitter? It's okay to be bitter. You can be bitter. You can be bitter, but you know what? You know what you can't change, X? You can't change the past. You can't. You really can't. So what does bitter do for you? That's what you have to ask yourself. What does being bitter do for you? Like, does it make you a better person? Does it make you grow? Or does it make you mad enough to do something about it? If that's the case, then be bitter. But choose your emotions based on what they do for you. I get anxiety all the time. I worry all the time. Worrying does nothing. I can't control anything. I focus on what I can control and I focus on that, and then everything else, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, well, that's just what happens, right? Like, I'm moving in March and there are so many things that I'm like, but you know what? I can't control them. So I'm just gonna focus on what I can control and do the work to make sure that everything I can do is perfectly going that way. And then everything else is just, it's up to fate, you know? Bitter is only good in coffee. Clinton's not gonna stream. No, he's not. It's Tiffany's birthday. It's Tiff's birthday. That's what I'm saying. What's up, Key? How are you? That's what I'm saying, X. If it motivates you, that's fine. I'm just saying, choose your emotions based on your actions, right? What can you do about things? Because, like, I don't know, there's so many fucking things you can't control, you know? Like, you can't control other people's emotions. That's one of the reasons why, like, when my mom and I, like, we were facing off about about being gay, I just said, you know what? I know what I can control. I can put an emotional distance between her and I so that I don't feel this. And this, there's like a wall. It's like a shield. It sucked, and I wish I didn't have to do it, but that's what I could control. So I did, and it made me a better person because I didn't have this mental instability that was rooted in that. And this like feeling of not being the right person and having this trauma associated with that. It's just an example. You have a weird relationship with it. That's okay. Turn your anger problem into. Well, you don't want a problem though. You know, you want to get motivated and use that, but don't, you know, oh my God, this fucking gnat, I swear to God. Can you give me a quick summary of what happened today? I can. So today, the Supreme Court ruled that LGBTQ can no longer be legally discriminated against on the basis of sexual or orientation. So really big win for us in terms of like working and stuff like that. I mean, there's, you know, still a long way to go, but it's great. Like we're a protected class now, which is, you know, goes with like age, disability, things like that, race. So about freaking time. I agree. And there's like a handful of states that have already passed laws like that, but most of them, or a good portion of them, were only in jobs like mine, like for public jobs. But yeah, it's really awesome. It's really good. Your cat got on the kitchen counter and ate the cheese. Grandparents' cat knocked over a whole bucket of cat food. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Big sad? What did I say? I forgot. Yeah, so now you know what one of your treats was, Roxy. I'll buy another one. It's not a big deal. Shocked that Trump allowed it. What's funny is, Buffalo Bill, the person that he appointed to the Supreme Court was the one that wrote the opinion on it. Wrote the brief. Which is kind of crazy, if you ask me. So Trump wants to make it so gay couples can't adopt. He does want to make it so that they can't adopt, but they're able to limit adoption based on that. I don't, you know, in all honesty, I don't know. If I start getting to talk about it, I'll just get mad, but can we just have a just chatting stream? I'm chatting. We're chatting until it dies down. We're chatting right now. Either way, yeah, I am too. It's a win. It's not, and you know, Buffalo Bill, it's a win for everyone. Like, the more human rights we all have, the more protections we all have, the better everyone is, in all honesty. Like, that's the thing, is that we're not okay. No one's okay. Shouldn't be okay until we're all equal. Like, the basis of human rights is needed for a country to move forward, you know? If anyone can be discriminated against, like, that's not good for anyone, you know? So. I think it's more based on religious reasons. So like certain organizations would be able, so here in Texas, they passed a bill that says that if I go to a baker and I want to order a cake, they can say, no, because of religious reasons, we're not gonna do that because it's a wedding, you know, you're getting married. They can do that here in Texas. So it's still, you know, even though we can get married. Shadow! Dude! What the hell? Oh my God, bro. Fucking relax. Get out of Texas? I know. I agree. I agree. That's exactly what I said, Buffalo Bill. That's what we were just talking about. A win is a win. Work to do, but a win is a win. You know, celebrate the victories in life today. Tomorrow, more work to be done. Always more work to be done, chat. There is always work to do. Always. Always, always, always. Always. Because we're human. Humans aren't fucking perfect. And you know who writes laws? Humans do. Like, for example, the whole like Lawrence v. Texas shit is still codified in Texas law. It's still in statute. You can still look, like we could look it up right now on Texas legislature online. It's still in statute. But I mean, it's no longer law, but you have to pass a bill to remove it from statute. Like, it's crazy. Hey, what's up, Feed? How are you? Yeah. Anyway, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like the biggest thing for me, like it's always going to be SCOTUS. Like what SCOTUS does and what SCOTUS says is like, that's the stop right there, chat. Really is. I mean, things can go back to it. We can go back to it. But when the Supreme Court says something, that is it. And that's, you know, Trump can do whatever he wants. The legislature, the Congress can do whatever they want. But the Supreme Court, while most of the agenda is, the tone of the agenda is set by the president in so many ways, it's still very, very, very important to have that stop. Because, I mean, that's the whole point. It's a checks and balances system, even though it doesn't always work the way we want it to. Sometimes the government does work. And when it does, we need to celebrate that. In this climate, this happening is huge. Papa made no sense at first, I'm telling you. Well, at its basis form, it does. But, I mean, the thing is, Jacob, this has been around, COPPA's been around for a long time. 1993? You like Law and Rules? I don't like Law and Rules. I went to school for Law and Rules. I work with Law and Rules. That's what I do. So the other day, I was trying to explain what like legislative session was to Roxy, and I really felt bad because I was like, I went off on it. I'm like, tell me if I've lost you. Like every 5 minutes, like tell me if I've lost you. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. And also the thing is, like anytime I've ever tried to explain stuff like that to people, they feel like I'm talking down to them, and I'm really not. I'm just trying to explain things because that's what I do. Like, it's my job, you know? It's like, that's literally what I spent years doing, is knowing that system and understanding it and how to make, like how to get a bill from one end of the law to the other, to the governor's desk and make sure it's not vetoed. I know how to do that. I'm good at that. You never know. Maybe I'll move to Illinois and do that. Who knows? If this whole streaming thing doesn't work out, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Anyway, I got options, chat, is my point. I'm good at it, chat. Good at it. Law and rules are very different, though. Rules are not law. That's one thing to take note of. Rules can change. They can change. I mean, they're taken as law, but they're not. It's not the same. Because rules don't have to pass through, and they're not in statutes. They're not set in stone. Like Texas Administrative Code is like all laws, right? It's all rules. It's not actually law. But like you can give an entity authorize an entity, an agency, or you know whatever to make rules in a statute, right? You can do that. So that entity can then write rules to make sure this law is implemented appropriately based on what their internal workings are. It's kind of crazy. It really is. Government is fucking complex, and it's very bureaucratic. There's a lot of fucking red tape, and I understand why people hate it, but sometimes, again, today, sometimes we feel the balance of scales, right? Bring me your rights, Daddy. But that's a different kind. That's different. That's different. That's not the same. That's not the same. What are we doing tonight? We're gonna play some Call of Duty. We're about to jump into it. I've just been talking. I don't know. I'm kind of like in this like weird, kind of like delirium state. Not like in a bad way, but like, I don't know, delirium. Delirious? I think delirium is different than deliriousness. Okay, see? There we are. So, y'all got me pumped about doing a podcast chat. Hey, Skywise, thank you. Yeah, if you guys haven't followed and you like what you see, you like my rants, you're about to see some wonderful eggplant aim in the chat. I fucking got you, bitch! Yes! Oh my god, the fucking net died! Yes! Sorry.